Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. We are from Group 5. Today our topic is about National Agrofood Policy 2.0. Before we start our presentation today, I would like to introduce guys with my team. First, we have Nur Alini Izzati binti Muhammad Ali. Second, Nancy Angeline Josli. The third one is me, Nur Akila binti Muhammad Adaha. Next, we have Nur Kistina Batrisha binti Nur Halim. The last one, Muhammad Zaid Zafran bin Muhammad Akbal. So, this is our content for today. We have introduction, policy problem, policy objectives and strategy, policy evaluation, which is strength and weaknesses, policy recommendation, and the last one, conclusion. Hi, it's me again, Akila. Now I will present the introduction. A policy is a collection of formally accepted principles or a course of action that is created by political parties, government, organization, or people. It acts as an outline to guide behavior and produce rational result, frequently addressing particular problem. Institution or governing bodies usually establish policy to provide direction, manage operation, and address issue. The goal NAP 2.0 National Agrofood Policy is to create a high-touch, resilient and sustainable agrofood sector, prioritizing food and nutrition security, enhancing Malaysians' quality of life, and protecting economic growth are the goal of this strategy. Two key goals at the heart of this policy are ensuring food security by making enough wholesome food available to everyone and promoting economic growth by increasing the agro-food sector share of the country's GDP and raising the income of food producers to support their well-being. Next, I will pass to Angel.
Thank you, Akila. My name is Nancy Angeline Josli, and now I will continue this presentation with the first point of policy problem that prompt the government to implement the National Agro-Food Policy NAP 2.0. So, the first policy problem is because of dependency on imports. What is imports? So, according to Krugman 2018, imports are defined as products or services that a country purchases from other nations to meet domestic demand and enhance production. In recent years, the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, which is MAFS, estimates Malaysia has imported between 30 and 35% of its rice needs with Thailand and Vietnam. According to Malaysia External Trade Development Corporation, which is MATRADE, this problem happened because the domestic production struggles to keep up with the rising demand. This problem put pressure on the country's food security. For example, rice. Rice is a staple food for us in Malaysia, but our country produces only about 70% of its rice need. This statement can be supported by a statistic that the import of rice in 2020 was recorded at 1.22 million metric tons, up from 0.97 million metric tons in 2019 by the Department of Statistics Malaysia. Next is the policy objective. The first one is to raise production output with quality harvest by increasing productivity. To fulfill this objective, there are two strategies, and one of them is water management and irrigation. So basically, this strategy are focusing on areas such as Kedah, Perlis, and Kelantan. So this strategy intends to invest in updated flood control and irrigation systems such as sprinkler and drip irrigation system. This is because effective irrigation systems are anticipated to boost water efficiency, cut down on waste, and provide steady output despite climate change. The next strategy is public-private partnership, where the policy promotes cooperation between farmers, private investors, and the government to make it easier to build infrastructure. Besides that, subsidies and tax breaks for private sector investment will support the expansion of agro-food companies. Moving forward to the policy evaluation, I will start with the strength of policy. To make a clear evaluation, I will make a comparison before and after an AP was implemented based on two areas, which are rice production and harvest quality. So before an AP, the rice production was 2.6 million tons and only 70% of it was self-sufficiency. Meanwhile, after an AP, it was increasing to 2.9 million tons and now 75 to 80% self-sufficiency. Next, based on the second areas, which is the harvest quality, during pre-NAP, which is before an AP was implemented, the harvest quality was frequently in low quality grade, and the marketability of Malaysian rice was diminished. After NAP, the harvest quality has improved where the broken grain rate decreased by 15 to 20%. Next, I will continue with the policy evaluation for the weakness of the policy. So, the weakness is the unconducive business environment. There are land competition between the agro-food and other parties. Priorities are often offered to other types of development such as housing and commercial development. To overcome this weakness, I recommend doing a zoning regulation where a government could enforce zoning laws that preserve agricultural land for farming purposes, restricting conversion to non-agricultural uses. So that's all from me. Now I will pass to my teammates, which is Alini, to continue this presentation.
Thank you, Angeline, for the useful information. My name is Alim Izati. I will continue with the second policy problem, which is agricultural productivity and innovation. According to the Global Agricultural Productivity (GAP) report, the agricultural total factor productivity (TFP) in 2019 is reportedly below the estimated requirement rate. The report highlights that global TFP need to increase at a rate around 1.72% annually to double the agriculture output by 2050. However, the actual growth rate is currently at 1.63% or even lower. Therefore, National Agrofood Policy 2.0 is indeed implemented to address this significant problem. The policy problem objective is to improve the food safety and nutritional well-being of Malaysians. Therefore, to achieve this objective, the government has come up with strategy by establishing a healthy and sustainable food system. These include initiatives such as MyGAP certification, which promotes good agricultural practices, the My Organic certification, which support the production of organic food, and lastly, global and international certification, which to ensure the high standard of food quality. Next, the strengths and weaknesses of the system created. Before the implementation of MyGAP, My Organic, and global certification, the farming practices were inconsistent and lacked standardization, lack of structured certification framework, and the product quality was inconsistent. The farmers are low in information and lack of tools. But after the implementation of the system, the farming practices are more consistent. The system provides a clear framework, and the system able to add value to the products by complying with a globally recognized standard. However, despite the fact these certificates bring several changes, the number of problems still exists, which is time and application. The process of getting certificates approval, monitoring, and audits can take a long period. And also, farmers must fulfill with number of requirements such as farmers need to provide record of production, updated farm documents, be prepared of criticism, and have quality assurance program documents to prove their commitment in producing high quality products. Policy recommendation. To address the weaknesses, Malaysian government needs to develop a user-friendly online platform application system that makes it simple for farmers to update the farm records, to submit application, and to monitor the status of their certification. As a result, the platform use will reduce paperwork and streamline the application process, saving time and making it easier for farmers to meet certification requirements. Then I will pass to my friend Christina Patricia.
Thank you, Alini, for the information. Now, I'm going to continue with the third policy. First is policy problem, barriers to sustainable agriculture. According to MDPI portal on September 22, many farmers are lack of technical knowledge. This is because farmers are unfamiliar with the modern methods such as a crop rotation, integrated pest management or known as IPM, and precision agriculture. The next policy problem is the percentage of older farmers are more than the younger farmers. According to Sinar Harian on October 21, 70% of farmers are over than 60 years old. The participation of the country youth participating in the sector was found to be more than 5% of the total number of individuals under the relevant age. Next, policy objective is to embrace greater economic, social, and spatial inclusiveness. The strategy is to greater adoption of sustainable farming practices with the utilization of bioresources. The government effort is National Agriculture Skills Training Program. This program is under the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, which is based on National Occupational Skills Standard. This standard is to deliver training based on skills competence and focuses on practical training, project, and simulation. This training is to create a skills and professional workforce that will serve in private sector and provide an attractive career path. Next, the strength of this policy. Training program provided by the government is approach to training. Before the policy, the training program was theoretical with limited emphasis on practical. It caused farmers receive a basic instruction and lack of opportunity to practice skills in real world. Farmers also use traditional methods of farming such as using a basic farming tools and manual equipment. After the policy, training transitioned to a competence-based approach, focusing on hands-on learning and real project. Farmers will be trained to develop problem-solving skills and adaptability to use the modern tools. Other than that, farmers are also given emphasis on skills directly to industry requirements. This policy also has weaknesses. The first weakness is high cost. This is because farmers may complete the training, but financial capacity to implement what they have learned, like buying the new modern technology, equipment such as farming tools and drones, involve high costs. Farmers that cannot afford this cost may revert to traditional farming methods. Government also need to spend a lot of money to support the farmers. In addition, resistance to change also part of the weaknesses. Older farmers may see modern methods that they have learned from the training as unnecessary or complex and stick to the traditional method. Younger farmers may be open to change to the new, but if older generation control decision making, modernization effort can be blocked. Now, move to recommendation. The government should come with recommendations like giving subsidies and incentives to the farmers. The subsidies could help farmers to buy the new modern tools. Government also can provide equipment instead of giving money to the farmers to make sure the farmers get to use the modern tools and improve their quality of crop yield. Then, the government can reduce the price of registered farmers' goods such as seed, tools, machinery, and livestock resource.
Thanks to my friend Patricia. My name is Muhammad Zaid Zafran bin Muhammad Akbal. Now I'm going to continue the presentation, starting with the policy problem. The policy problem that urges the creation of this policy is the low attractiveness of the agri-food sector in Malaysia. Based on the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Industries, the annual gross domestic product GDP per worker in the agriculture sector is RM63,345, which is the lowest compared to the manufacturing sector, which is RM1,144, and the services sector, which is RM82,488, based on the Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Industries in 2020. This explains the reason why the agriculture sector is not viewed by many as a sector worth getting into as a career. Based on the statistic collected from the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Industries in 2016, only 4.2% tertiary students consider a career in the agri-food sector. This data is the evidence of low involvement of youth in the agri-food sector, making resources such as labor forces harder to acquire. To overcome this dilemma, the government has made one of the policy objectives to establish a resilient supply chain with high-valued activities. To achieve this policy objective, the government has laid out strategies, which is the government has concentrated its effort on attracting and retaining young talent. The government planned to remodel the agri-food sector to include modern and smart agriculture norms. The government hopes this will bring more attraction from the youth with an interest in the new technology to work in the agri-food sector. For example, attracting new generation that have education on software development or engineering will give an impression to the next generation that the agri-food sector has a wealthy job market to affiliate with. Effectively, this will boost the workforce needed in the sector while also creating a flexible chain of supply with more advanced technology incorporated in the process. Another government approach to achieve this policy objective is to increase efficiency and technical services of extension officers. Extension officers are the division that connect the farmers to external processes such as vendors and salesmen that want the farmers' agro products to sell, or data experts and scientists that can help the farmers in their production. Improving this part in the agri-food sector will aid in the success of making the agri-food sector more efficient and the product to be more marketable. Moving on with the presentation, I am continuing with policy evaluation, starting with the strengths. From the strategy, the improvement on the extension officer service managed to show results. Evidence from the Department of Statistics Malaysia, GDP from the agri-food sector has an increase close to 8%, which from 2021 RM 1,390 billions to RM 1,510 billions in 2022. We can also see an increase in the production of vegetables, a margin of 7% in 2022 compared to in 2021. This shows the productivity and sales in the agri-food culture is thriving, thus showing the policy strategy to focus on the management of extension officer service works. Looking into the weakness, the strategy to attract youth generation even with diversified sector in the agri-food sector failed. Data from Department of Statistics Malaysia shows a minor decrease of employed workers in the sector from 1,570,000 in 2018 to 1,540,000 in 2022. In the 2022, there is only 906 young graduates in the agri-food sector compared to in 2021, which is 1,238 young graduates. The weakness here shows the policy strategy to attract more youth into the sector has failed. Continue with the recommendation. As we can see, the policy has weaknesses, which is they fail to gain the attraction of the youth with the policy plan. Even though the government has put in effort to diversify the work branch in the agri-food sector, the youth does not pay attention or even realize their chance to start their career in the agri-food sector. To counter this, the government could increase the exposure to the young generation about this sector and their line of work. The government could multiply campaign and public speaking about the agri-food sector. They should make this event more targeted. To illustrate, the government could do a mini fair in high school or even in university to show the potential of the job market in the agri-food sector. This will give a better impression to the youngs about agri-food sector and attract more people to join this line of work. That's all from me.
Thank you, Zaid. Now, I will present the conclusion. In conclusion, the National Agrofood Policy 2021 until 2030 NAP 2.0 is a crucial initiative for Malaysian agrofood sector It underscores the country's commitment to advancing sustainable agriculture and creating an eco-friendly agri-food industry that meets global standards. Through NAP 2.0, Malaysia demonstrates its dedication to achieving balanced economic, environmental, and social progress in agriculture.